What we're trying to capture today is a discovery that you've made through Ancestry, whether it's the family history side or DNA or maybe a combination of both. That was a really meaningful discovery for you, and how it kind of made you feel, your emotional aspects of it. If you could share that with us also, that'd be great.
So a couple of years ago, I signed up for DNA because before I was just using Ancestry for sources, that was it. And in my first cousin line, there's this lady that shows up. So I'm going like, okay, so which side of the family it is? So I had another cousin that was on my mother's side. Says, okay, it's not on my side. So anyway, then we went through the discovery trying to figure out who this person is. Tried to contact them, no contact. So then by doing my back and forth stuff, I realized it was my grandmother's daughter that had been placed for adoption, which nobody knew was a family secret. So I was totally blown away because I still have living cousins and that, so I talked to them on the phone. It's like, no, we never heard about it, don't know anything about it. Well, since then, anyway, I've been able to reconnect with this person after about 18 months of ignoring me.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe she just didn't want to, I don't know. And so we were able to put family lines together and also visit her mother in her cemetery. It was her mother, excuse me. It was her mother was the one placed for adoption. This would now be my first cousin.
Got it.
So anyway, we were able to go to the cemetery, and then also she has a lot of her adoptive family that is in Salt Lake City Cemetery. So we spent half a day there. And after 4 hours, again, lots of tears coming, she says, I've told you things about my life that nobody knows about. And I've never been willing to share anything. So to me, just for that was a healing experience for her and for me, because not only did I get close to her, but she felt comfortable enough by reconnecting to her deceased relatives that nobody knew about because they're adopted and everything else. So that's why it became an emotional experience with this DNA trying to find this person.
That's incredible. And have you made any other discoveries since then or before this that were, I mean, this is a very incredible story that you shared, like that were maybe not as emotional for you, but still meaningful?
I have another one that's very similar.
Please do share.
So I did an oral history with an uncle just before he passed away. And right at the end, he said, oh, well, my sister had a baby. So again, another placement that nobody knew about. And so he said, oh, I just passed on this family secret because he was the last living relative. And so he said, I don't know what you want to do with it, I'll just leave it go. So for 18 months I let it go, not talking to my cousins because it was their mother, and their mother was an angel, in their mind. So then I handed them this oral history one day, and I says, if you want to call me on the phone, I'll tell you about it. So they called me back mad because why are you just dropping this off and not telling me? And then after a few days of going through the emotion of that, of finding that they had a half-sister out there, they said, well, why didn't you ask what this person's name was? Well, I was so shocked about it because I knew, everything. I didn't bother to ask about it, and he'd since passed away. So for 4 years, literally, we prayed that Heavenly Father would help this person take some DNA so we might connect with her, because we knew she would be in her 80s and maybe not be around. And it just so happened this last year, she was concerned about her health and passing something off to her daughters. So she decided to do the Ancestry DNA only for that. And the day it got posted is the day I contacted her on the phone, and she goes, well, nobody knows anything that I know about this sort of stuff, and so I don't know how to deal with all this. So we've since then reconnected, and so even today, she's sick, may pass away soon, but she wants to talk to me today about some things too. So there's two things that we've put two families together. It's extended lines because of that.
Can you tell me a little bit about the emotional aspect of the work you've done and the things you've discovered?
Well, lots of tears, lots of emotion, and then also at the same time recognizing that everybody has issues. We're all similar. So, for example, she's not wanted to talk to her sisters. They don't understand that, because to me it's no big deal. I've been through all this emotion with the first one, so you would think you would naturally want to. Well, she's scared to talk to them. You wouldn't think so. That's what she is. So I'm hoping today that'll be one of the topics we'll have, is like, okay, well, maybe I'll call them on the phone to reconnect before she passes away.
That's incredible.
So as a result of all that, now we've all talked to other families, and now we realize that their mother isn't the perfect angel. She never was anyway, but that's how we put people on a pedestal, and she was doing the best she could in her life as well. So it really connects families bigger. And then the same thing with her daughters. We've talked about all kinds of things that she's went through with her daughters. And And so the more you learn the same thing is like, oh, well, you were just trying to do the best you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing that incredible
Yeah.
story with us.
It's been great.